Ooh, derivatives, power rule. You're going to like it. Saves you a lot of time. The definition of a derivative, the limit, as h goes to 0, f of x plus h squared minus f of x all over h. You get an ugly equation. It takes forever and a half a page of paper. So here's the rules. First place, if you're going to find the derivative of a constant, so my function is y equals 3, y prime is equal to 0. The power rule, this is the one you want to know. Okay? You wrap that to the front. So y prime, you put n in front and then subtract 1 from it. So if I have y is equal to x cubed, y prime is equal to 3y squared. You bring the 3 to the front and subtract 1. The multiple constant rule says if I have y is equal to 3x cubed, you just multiply that together. So y prime is equal to 9x squared. Okay? Or you put it in terms of that, it's c times f prime. The sum and difference rule, you just add them up. It takes care of polynomials. You don't have to do separate derivatives. You can do them all together. Okay? These abbreviations we talked about before, y prime, dy dx, the derivative of f of x with respect to x, or f prime. This, I don't know what that's in there for. Well, that's what it is. I'll take that out. Derivative does equal the instantaneous rate of change. Slope of the line. Okay? So here's my function. It's a constant. What's the derivative of a constant? 0. Think about it. If you graph that line, it's a horizontal line. Let's do it in a different color. It's more fun. Okay? It's a horizontal line at 3. What's the slope of a horizontal line? 0. Okay? Determine the derivative. Remember, this is 2x to the first, and then a constant. Wrap your 1 to the front. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract 1 and you get x to the 0. X to the 0 equals 1. So the derivative of 2x is just 2. The derivative of 3 is 0. So here's your answer. Okay? This one's a long one. It's got 4 terms. You can do them all at once. So 4 times 3 is 12. X cubed. 3 times 2 is 6. X, subtract 1. The derivative of 7x is plus 7. The derivative of 9 is 0. Boom, you're done. Easy peasy. Just think if I had to do that with the definition. The limit is h goes to 0 of 3 times x plus h to the 4th minus 2 times x plus h cubed plus 7 times x plus h minus 9 minus f of x all over h. Yuck! So we got shortcuts. Okay? When dealing with equations, you want to simplify the equation and make exponents, make exponents positive. Make radicals exponents. It just makes your life easier at this point. Okay? So, instead of having 1 over x squared, you change f of x into x to the negative 2. It means the same thing. And now the power rule still works. And you get negative 2x. When you subtract 1 from negative 2, you get negative 3. Usually we say we don't want your answers with negative exponents, so we make you change it to that. Okay? This one I'm going to rewrite my equation first. I have 2x to the negative 1 plus x to the 1/3. Power rule. Negative 2x to the negative 2 plus 1/3 x. When you subtract 1 from 1/3, you're going to subtract 3/3, so you get negative 2/3. To write it with no negative exponents, it's negative 2 over x squared plus 1 over 3 times the cube root of x squared. Derivatives are going to get messy now. Just be glad you don't have to use the definition. Okay? This one, this is f of t is equal to 3 times t to the 3/5 f prime. You bring that to the front and you get 9/5 t. You subtract 5/5 and you get negative 2/5. No negative exponents. Okay. This one you look at and you go, geez, do I have to expand that out? Well, what is this asking for? It's the definition of a derivative. It's asking you to find the derivative of the function x to the 7th minus 3x to the 5th minus, oh, there it is, x to the 7th, 3x to the 5th. Okay, so that's all it's asking you to do is find that derivative. And I can use shortcuts. So my shortcut tells me it's 7x to the 6th minus 15x to the 4th. Okay? We're going to do one of these. Find the equation of the tangent line at x equals 1. To do the equation, you need to know its slope, and you need to know y, and they gave us x. So to find slope, you take the derivative, 15x squared minus 2. F prime of 1 is 15 minus 2 is 13. So that's my slope. To find y, you take f of 1, which is 5 minus 2 plus 1. See, that's 3 plus 1 is 4. So you have y minus 4 equals 13 times x minus 1. Remember, point slope form, leave it that way. Get out of the habit of changing it. All right? Oh, this is a good one too. It wants you to find the where the tangent line is horizontal. Well, what's the slope of a horizontal tangent line? 0. So you find the derivative. Get 4x cubed plus 12x and set it equal to 0. Factor out 4x and you get x squared plus 3. So now I have 4x equals 0, x squared plus 3 equals 0, so x equals 0, and x equals plus or minus the square root of 3. It's going to be horizontal tangent line. Think about it. This is an x to the 4th positive leading coefficient. Telling me at 0 and at these 2 points, right? I got a horizontal tangent line. Ooh, lessons coming, foreshadowing. Stay tuned. Don't drop calculus. This is where the fun stuff begins. Okay? All right. We did that. We don't want to do that. So let's learn some trig. But these you just have to memorize. Beep, 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 beep. Memorize. The derivative of the sine is the cosine. And the derivative of the cosine is negative sine. I don't know what they're talking about here. Okay? The chain rule works. Okay, so 2 times the sine of x. I'm multiplying by coefficient. So f prime, it's 2. The derivative of the sine is cosine. Another one, it's the definition. This is the function. That's f of x. They're telling me f of x is equal to the cosine of x. And they want to know the derivative at pi over 3. So f prime of x is negative sine of x. F prime of pi over 3 is negative sine of pi over 3. The sine of pi over 3 is a half, so you make that negative. Know your unit, circle. Okay? Memorize your trigs. Okay. Identify the slope at that particular point. So here's the point. Here's my function. G prime. The derivative of a constant is 0. This is 3 times the sine of t, and it's negative. Now I got to plug in pi. G prime of pi is negative 3 times the sine of pi. Sine of pi is 0, so I get 0. Whoop, done. Okay, let's do this one. Find the derivative. So it's 3. The derivative of the sine is cosine. Minus 4 times the derivative of the cosine is negative sine. Plus 18x squared. Shortcuts. Like them. Fun. Okay? Last problem. If f of x equals x, then f prime of x. So what's f prime of the function. It's 1. It'll always be 1. What's the graph of that? Y equals x looks like this. So what this is asking for is, what's the slope at 5? Well, it's the same as it is for the whole line. It equals 1. Okay, that's all there is to it. Short and easy. Practice, practice, practice. Hope you enjoyed it.